many of you have made new friends? As in, how many new friends? Number, please. 2. Anybody more than 2? How many? 3. 5. I mean, I'll come to you and ask the names and tell me to show the person. So please don't randomly say the numbers. You can't lie. 10. Who's that? 10? More than 10. Okay. Anybody more than 10? So see, this is an opportunity where you meet people of your vibe. You can vibe with them, if it is to be told in your terms, okay? So meet new people, make new friends. So with that note, welcome to the day 2 of National Youth Conference 2025, organized by Akanksha Charitable Trust in association with Nitte deemed to be university. Okay, so first of all, Happy National Youth Day. Today, 12th January, it is celebrated as National Youth Day. Can anybody tell me what's the reason behind this? Right, so it's the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. So that is why we all celebrate National Youth Day. So youth, the energetic people tomorrow of our nation, congratulations and happy National Youth Day to all of you. And I think there is no much better way to celebrate this Youth Day being in National Youth Conference. Okay, so you are the luckiest ones because most of the youth today being Sunday might be sleeping or doing whatever, but you are here spending your Sunday thinking that, okay, I will learn something today and contribute towards betterment of my nation. Okay, so congratulations and happy National Youth Day to everybody present here, to all the delegates and to all our Akanksha volunteers as well. Okay, so on that note, you might have seen some interesting your photos in an envelope outside, right? So it is known as sugar box. Okay, so the main concept is that you have your photos, along with that there is an envelope. So if you want to write any message to anybody, you can write the message and put it in that envelope. By the end of the day, you can collect your photos and the envelope and see how many messages you have got. Okay, so I request all the delegates not to take any photo or the envelope of yours. Now, wait till the evening, we'll see how many of you get how many messages. Okay, you can write messages to your fellow delegates. There are pictures of our volunteers as well. You can write it to them also. So it's a small sweet gesture of, you know, maybe telling that how, it's that's why it's known as sugar box, because we expect you to write something nice and not like, oh, now I've got the chance, I'll write nicely about this person. No, not like that. Okay, so it's something that maybe your words can motivate that person, or maybe your words can make the day of the person. Okay, so on that note, let's have something, a small warm-up session. No? I need answer from you guys. Can we have a small warm-up session now? Yes? Yes? Yes. A big yes? Yes. No, that's not at all a big yes. I can hear only one voice. A big yes? Yes. Okay, so I want you just to follow me. Please do as I do. Okay? Just rub your hands. Okay? Snap. Everybody. Now you'll see how it rains. Okay? Just one finger. Just one finger. 2. 3. 4. And 5. 4. Okay, so that first silence what you heard is what we expect when the speakers are talking. And the last clap what we heard is what we expect from you when the speakers are done, or when you see anybody, one of your fellows talking, and once they are done, you have to encourage them the same way. Okay? Is that fine? I find no Josh. Guys, come on. You are the youth. You are the representative of hundreds and thousands of millions of youth who are supposed to be here in a national youth conference. And this is not at all the Josh that we expect from you. Still the same. Guys, are you ready to witness National Youth Conference Day 2? So I want this Josh till the end of the day, and a special request, please don't go and occupy the back seats. This is your seat for till the end of the day. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and second thing, we want your friends. Make sure that you make new friends. This is a right platform for you all to make new friends, make new connections. Okay? Grow up as a team. Build up your LinkedIn profiles rather than Instagram. Okay, so this is a time where you can utilize all the connections, and maybe you can take some of the good inputs from the other people that you have met, right? You can make, you never know, some friendships might even last longer. Okay, so please utilize this time, and please utilize this opportunity, and you can ask any questions, even though if there is any time constraints during the panel discussions, you can always approach later and ask them. Cool? Is that okay? We have our first panel discussion now. Guests have already arrived, so we will have the panel discussion. Again, all the best for today. Have a nice day, and please make sure that you take up the maximum. Okay? Okay, so are you awake now? Yes. So I hope you all know the great saying of Swami Vivekananda ji. What was that? Arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is reached. So today, arise, awake, and stop not till NYC is done. Okay? Keep your eyes open, ears open, everything, and listen, and arise and awake. Okay? On that note, thank you, and have a good day. Have a more opportunistic day where you can actually learn something. Cool? Make new friends, network, and yes, special all the best for the hackathon in the afternoon. Thank you.
Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Day 2 of National Youth Conference 2025, Youth for Tomorrow, Driving Change Through Entrepreneurship. It's been an incredible journey so far, and we are thrilled to have you here for another exciting day of inspiration, innovation, and collaboration. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to connect with like-minded young leaders, learn from visionary entrepreneurs, and explore the power of entrepreneurship to transform our future. As we dive into Day 2, we continue to focus on empowering the youth to harness their entrepreneurial spirit and drive meaningful change in their communities and beyond. Today, we'll explore new ideas and hear from entrepreneurs who are shaping the future, engage in discussions that challenge the status quo. This is a day for you to dream big, innovate boldly, and take the steps necessary to turn your visions into reality. So, get ready to be inspired, network fellow changemakers, and most importantly, take action to make tomorrow better than today. Now, without further ado, let's kick off Day 2. We have an exciting lineup of speakers, panel discussions, and interactive sessions ahead. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to today's exciting panel discussion on the theme From Startup to Scale Up, Lessons Learned on the Path to Success. Entrepreneurs Entrepreneurship is a journey like no other, from the spark of an idea to scaling up a thriving business. It's filled with challenges, innovation, and invaluable lessons. Today, we are privileged to hear from leaders who have not only walked this path but have also made remarkable contributions in their respective fields. I request Dr. Shisha Bhat to escort the dignitary to the dais. Thank you. To guide us through this enlightening conversation, we are honored to have an exceptional moderator, Dr. Manohar Shinde. Dr. Robin Shinde holds a doctorate in management from VTU and is a distinguished academician and industry expert. He also holds a master's in business administration and a master in human resource management and an MPhil in management along with clearing the net. With nearly 20 years of experience in both academics and industry, Dr. Shinde began his career in 2005 with Morgan Stanley's HR department in Mumbai and later contributed his expertise to esteemed educational institutes such as AJ Institute of Management, MSMM, Besant Institute of PG Studies, and Srinivas University. Currently, he serves as the director of MBA department at Vivekananda College of Engineering and Technology, Puttur. Dr. Shinde has been honored for his research in AI and marketing, including a prestigious design patent registration from the Government of India. He is also an accomplished writer, speaker, and workshop facilitator, and he actively contributes to academic boards, professional organizations, and national HRE network. Let us all put our hands together to welcome Dr. Robin Shinde. A hearty welcome to you, sir. I'd like to request Mr. Pratham, member of Akanksha Charitable Trust, to welcome Mr. Shinde with a book as a token of our respect and admiration. Thank you. Now let me introduce our esteemed panelists who will share their insights, experiences, and strategies on scaling up businesses. First, we have Mr. Aditya Kalluraya, a digital innovator and CEO of The Web People. Born to Mr. Ravishankar Kalluraya and the late Lalita Kalluraya, Aditya Kalluraya grew up in a family where arts, academics, and leadership were highly valued. He was the youngest of 3 children with 2 elder sisters. Aditya's academic journey led him to pursue BE in Electronics and Communication, excelling not just in his academic studies but also in extracurricular activities. Before a life-changing accident in 2012, Aditya was an accomplished Bharatanatyam dancer, training under guidance of Natya Guru Balakrishna Manjeshwar for 12 years. He performed over 85 dance programs across Karnataka and neighboring states. His passion for arts extended beyond dance, as he also trained in Carnatic music under Vidwan Kanchana Ishwar Bhat. A dedicated NCC cadet, Aditya earned the prestigious Best Cadet Award at the national level. His academic excellence and leadership skills led him to be selected as the sole candidate from Karnataka for the University Entry Scheme by Indian Air Force in 2012. However, in the same year, Aditya's life took an unexpected turn when he was involved in a severe road accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down due to a spinal cord injury. Despite the immense challenges he faced during his recovery, Aditya channeled his energy into self-education, learning software, and expanding his knowledge in various fields. Aditya's entrepreneurial spirit flourished as he co-founded The Web People with his college classmate Sharat Srinivas in Puttur. This venture marked the beginning of his journey in the world of business. He later co-founded Rebo Media Private Limited, a digital media company, and Arabi, now Arohanam, an online Carnatic music academy. As CEO of the Bird People, Aditya leads a dynamic team of 25 full-time employees and 30 contract associates. His leadership and strategic vision have helped the company offer creative services globally, ensuring that every project not only meets but also exceeds clients' expectation. We are so honored to have you here with us today, sir. A hearty welcome to you. I'd like to request Mr. Danush, Member of ACT, to welcome Aditya with a book as a token of our respect. Next, we have Mr. Gaurav Kamath, the co-founder and CEO of MicroDegree, an online skilling platform empowering local talent by teaching IT skills in regional languages like Kannada. With a background in biotechnology from AMIT, Gaurav has previously worked with Infosys, Accenture, and Traxon. His startup MicroDegree has garnered recognition as a winner of Karnataka's Elevate program and aims to create 5 lakh jobs in 5 lakhs jobs by 2027. Gaurav's work is revolutionizing skill development in smaller towns and villages. Let's give him a warm welcome. We are so honored to have you here with us today, sir. A hearty welcome. I'd like to request Mr. Subramanya to welcome Mr. Kamath with a book as token of our respect. Thank you. Lastly, we have Ms. Supreetha Bhat, the founder of EchoPeak Solutions, which specializes in providing tailored business services like appointment setting, lead generation, sales, and customer support. With over 10 years of experience in customer services and operations, Supreetha is committed to helping businesses streamline their operations and enhance customer experiences. Her expertise and dedication make her an exceptional entrepreneur. We are so honored to have you with us today, ma'am. A hearty welcome to you. I'd like to request Mr. Ashok to welcome Supreetha, ma'am, with a book as a token of respect. Thank you. With such stellar panel of experts, I'm sure we are in for an engaging and insightful discussion. Without further ado, I hand it over to our moderator, Dr. Robin Shinde. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning to all. First and foremost, let me thank the organizers of the National Youth Conference 2025. Professor Shrisha is here and he's very instrumental in having me here, and I thank him particularly for the opportunity. As you can see the title, today we talk about youth. Okay, we are very privileged among all the countries in the world where youth, our population is so youthful that around 60% of us, our population, is in the age group of 20 to 35, right? And these conferences or forums where it brings people at your age, at a very early age, where you are exposed to how you can look at your future a slightly differently, rather than looking at a regular job, right? In that aspect, you have been spending these 2 good days, okay, being part of such a prestigious event. The topic that we are discussing today, startup to scale up, right? Today, if I have to very basically define a startup, it is nothing more than a new business where somebody identifies a market gap, tries to bring some innovation and some ideas, right? There are list of companies that you may be having their apps on your phone itself, right? Zomato, Zepto, right? Cred. There is endless list of companies which are all coming. If I take the definition of what startup is from our government, so they are saying that any partnership or private firm doing around less than 25 crores of business, persons who are of age over 18 years is quite basic requirement to come under the startup scheme, which was started way back in 2016, right? And from that things, it has seen more than 400-500% jump, where we as the fifth largest economy in the world today, because of various entrepreneurial activities which are actually driving these things for us to become fifth, right? In that, there are prominently around 112,000 plus startups, which is almost 400% jump from the time the government took some special initiatives and schemes to support these startups, right? So in this background, okay, we have with us Mr. Aditya Kalluraya, founder and CEO of the Web People. We have Supreetha Bhat ma'am, founder of EchoPeak Solutions. Also, Mr. Gaurav Kamath, co-founder and COE, MicroDegree. Somewhere, they are inspiring startup organizations, especially led by them from the front. They must have definitely gone through some challenges to really take forward their ideas and businesses. And I am really proud to be part of this discussion with them. Though I come from the academics, we teach concepts, right? They have learned concepts and they are actually practicing it, right? I am more into researching what they do sometimes and find something common by looking at n number of things what different people do in different businesses as startups and all those things. But they, as you have seen from how the MC very nicely she has recited everybody's biodata, giving a background of how and what they are, both from the academic perspective and what they do now. So in this aspect, again, making time out and coming from their commitments with their business on a Sunday and being with students is a great gesture from them, where I think they are here to inspire you. As I was discussing with Shrisha sir, we are not here to lecture, but we want to meet, or as we just met 10 minutes prior to start. So we were also discussing some experience where people should get inspired to be something more and different, just as not just as a regular student, right? So with all this small background, I would like to hand over the session to Aditya Kalluraya, founder CEO of Web People, to take the opening thing on side of the industrialists who are here to talk on this topic.
All our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them. This is a quote by Walt Disney. Good morning, everyone. I would love to start this session by this quote because it reminds me that every bold idea, every dream can turn into a reality if it is fueled by courage and passion. I am Aditya Kalluraya, CEO of the Web People, and I am honored to be in front of you in this National Youth Conference 2025 organized by Akanksha Charitable Trust, where we are all here together under a single mission to learn, to grow, and to inspire one another. When I started the Web People with my friend Sharath Srinivas back from my home, I did not have any idea that a spark of an idea to serve customers would evolve into a company that's serving clients across industries. So I will be sharing with you our journey from a small, tiny setup to where we are right now. We are still a growing company, and I believe it would resonate with a lot of you here and also empower you to start or continue your entrepreneurial journey. So every company starts with an idea. So back then, as the moderator announced, like I come from an electronics and communication background. Even my partner, the co-founder of People, he is also from electronics and communication. So back then, certain incidents happened in my life. Because of that, I could not pursue in the subject which I have studied. So the better option was to do something in IT field. So at that point of time, I started studying IT concepts, and we were seeing what we could do in this field. And at that point of time, we felt that there is a need for people and businesses to have an online presence, which was a huge thing back then. And there were no quality service providers back then. So we thought that could be a better platform to start. But we didn't have any clients back then. So what we did, so initially I started building the website for my own grandfather, like who was a research scholar, late research scholar. So we started by building that. And then I was very active on social media. So we were voicing our opinions, we were writing articles back then. So we thought we could build a digital media company. So we started with a group of 5 writer friends. So we started a digital media company called Redo back then. So, we managed a team of 30 odd hobby writers from various parts of Karnataka and Mumbai. And we ran a good digital media company, which was both in English and Kannada. So that gave us a huge reach back then. And then we moved on and we built other platforms like South Canara, which is a business directory platform, and where we promoted local businesses of South Canara. And then we moved on to, then we started another startup called Arohanam, which is an online platform to learn music one-to-one with music teachers. So when we built these solutions, like these are all our own solutions, so people started recognizing it, and that gave us massive confidence back then. So one thing we realized, that if we do something with sincerity, there is an opportunity. So sensing that opportunity, my friend who was working in Infosys at that time, he decided to quit. So we started full-time the web people, so that we could give solutions to the people who want to utilize our services for their business at that point of time. So we started out in a rented house in Puttur back then. So this is our initial office setup which we had in Puttur. We rented out, and this was how our workplace was back then. So early challenges. As I said, we started with a simple idea, and we learned how to do that, and we immediately got into servicing. But then we cannot expect every client has a similar requirement. So various requirements started to come in. They asked us if we can help them in building this, if this is a unique idea, if we can build that workflow and other thing. So it was all learning experience for us. So we learned on the job. Whenever the new requirement came, we learned on that and we executed. So we had to build a team. We had to build a tiny team back then. But we were, like as I said, we were fueled by passion. We were just looking for a reason to work. back then. So we took up every work that has come our way, and that attitude led to a connection in US who asked us if we can support them in their BPO KPO services as well for his business in US. So we started 24/7 office for the first time in Puttur. So Puttur is a nearby town. I hope some of you are from Puttur as well here. So how many of you are from Puttur? Oh, super. A lot of them are here. So we started 24/7 office there for the first time, and we started. But then 1.5 years later, COVID happened, and the client's business also shut down. So we had to stop the night service, as Puttur is still not ready for the night shifts at. So then we stopped that services. But that is how, like, when you are starting, you are exploring various things to just build the service. So within a short span of time, we found ourselves balancing between multiple projects with all unique requirements. So we were hitting a wall. Like, either we had to stay tiny and be very selective with the projects we take up, or we scale up. So we did a both. Like, still we are very selective when working with clients. We work with passionate founders, passionate companies only. In the meanwhile, we also scaled up our team. We are building, it's a continuous process. We are building the team as well. So, like, building it, they say that when you have a right intent and a right mission, we attract like-minded people. So we were fortunate enough to have individuals who share common passion, common mission of delivering great design and also focus on client satisfaction. So that is something we learn on the process of building a company. So then, as a founder, you will know in and out of all the services of the company. So it is very hard to leave that part. Like, you feel that you have to enter into everything, and you have to focus on every output of your company. But as you scale, it is very difficult. So you have to start trusting the team and also let them lead forward and also fail at times, and so that they learn on the process. So that is something as a founder, as a leader, we have to learn at that point. So this is our current office and our activities and other things, so that we are having in Puttur right now. So what worked for us? So delivering projects with quality, that made a difference, actually. There are a lot of competitors in the service which we are in the space which we are in. But when we deliver it with quality, it cuts a lot of competition. It narrows it down. It cuts the noise. And that is where we are into right now. So scaling strategies. So I told you about how we started and then how we progressed. So now scaling strategies. Now we are more of a digital transformation company. So we, when a client associate with us, we get into end-to-end, whether it's a business operations, whether it's an internal workflow that we have to optimize, whether it's their cloud architecture, whether it's their client softwares that we need to build. So we have ventured into all of that. We have established expertise over that, and with the artificial intelligence and machine learning coming in, so even those have got into our expertise at present. And when I say product focus, like, initially we delivered a lot of projects for the clients for their unique requirements. But then later we found out that there is a potential, because there are a lot of companies which might require a same product. So we did SaaSification. Do you know what is SaaS? software as a service. So we SaaSified some of our products and started selling that. So that's also a vertical we focused on. And then we started building strategic partnerships with some of the bigger companies where we could handle some of their projects as well. So that is also pretty critical when it comes to scaling. And regarding funding and financial discipline, like many of the companies during their startup or scaling stage, they go for funding or venture capitalists. But we took a bootstrapped approach to have more control on our mission. And when you get into that, you see there are a lot of things which we need to optimize. Like you have to focus not just on your service. There are things in the financial as well, in the expenses as well, which needs a lot of our attention, which is beyond our expertise, but it's a learning that we have to do while navigating through the company. So what are the lessons for the upcoming entrepreneurs that you can take? So one, building a startup is not a straight line. So there are a lot of jitters, there are a lot of ups and downs, there are a lot of twists, there are a lot of trial and errors. So resilience is a key, like it is much required for us while building it. Like it has to be built with patience. So that's all I can say. And then it is always a continuous learning. Like you can't, once you have a product market fit, you have a product there, it's not the only thing you learn. There is a technology that gets evolved. There's a market that's getting evolved. You have to learn the trends. As I mentioned, you have to learn the financials. You have to learn market. You have to learn how to sell the product. So it's a continuous learning. And also not just the founders who has to be in this continuous learning mode. You have to bring that culture to the team as well. The whole team should be should have the culture of learning new things and getting updated every day. And that is something you have to, like you can't leave it to the team that like everybody should be updated, but you have to bring that culture in, that somehow they get updated and get learning on the when they are part of your team. And then nothing like networking. So that's something like what you are doing here also, attending conferences, attending meetups, and taking guidance of senior people in the industries, other businessmen. So there is nothing like you can not learn from them. So it's much more than what you learn in Coursera or for online platforms, YouTube, like YouTube. So that is something which you have to do every day. And then when you are building a team, building a culture is very important. By culture, it doesn't mean that like you have to have a hard working team. No, it's about taking care of the employees. It's about the self-care and everything, with which when everybody are here to evolve, to improve themselves. And if we give the space for that, if we build that culture, they will definitely be with you for the longer times. So at the end, I can say, like this is a famous quote, in the end, we regret the chances we did not take. So you should not be, like you should not have any regrets later in your life that I should have done that. Like it happens when you see some other who has done really well in the idea which you have thought, you only regret. But it's because you regret because you did not take a chance. That person took a chance. So you have to take a chance. You have to execute. You have to, like if you have to fail, you have to fail fast, then learn, then reiterate, and then then again start working on that. So that is the message I would like to leave for today. So thank you everyone for listening to me, and it's really my pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
And he's been able to articulate all his experiences in a beautiful way, which you could take as a learning. For this, I thank Mr. Aditya Kalluraya, founder, the web people, for delivering his experience as a part of this session here. So on behalf of all the organizers and the audience, I thank you once again, sir. And taking the session forward, I request Mr. Gaurav Kamath, co-founder, MicroDegree, to take over the session and share his experience with us. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, am I audible? Awesome. Good morning, everyone. So, firstly, I would like to thank Akanksha, Nitte, and Srisha sir for giving me this opportunity. So, welcome everyone. I think Sunday morning, I know it's a bit hard, but glad to see a lot of young minds coming across Karnataka for the NYC. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. So guys, I'll be talking about my failure stories, right? This is nothing about success. I'm going to talk what are the failures I had so that I don't want you to repeat this. Because I've spent a lot of time, energy and money for this. I don't want you to repeat. So that is what I'm going to start. So basically, co-founder of MicroDegree, what we do is we teach tech skills in local language. Kannadadalli IT courses ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. But this is my fourth startup, right? There was 3 failures and I'll be going to talk about it, right? So the first one, what happened is something called as jumpingjeans.com. This is back in 2015, just like you guys, I was doing my engineering at NITE, NMMIT, right? So what happened is, guys, I got a chance, I got placement in Infosys, right? Infosys Mysuru, have you seen the campus? Have you heard about the campus? Right? 6 months of training, and what happened is, once training is done, you get a job, full-time Infosys job. But unfortunately, on the last day of training, I had to come out because I failed in the training part. Because I come from a biotechnology engineering background, and learning tech was very, very hard, right? Very hard. So that's the reason I had to come out. After coming out, what did I do? I thought of startup Madwa. Back then, Zomato, Swiggy and all, Ola, Uber was happening 2015-16. Jumping Jeans anta. So basically what did we do? We were a blogging platform for all the startups. Have you heard Your Story? Yourstory.com? In Shots, right? Something like that. Startup story in a 1 paragraph we used to write. Around 200-300 startups birthday. Right? That gave me an idea of business models of startups. Startups ಹೇಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಎಂತ ಅಂತ. But unfortunately ran for 3 months and shut shop. You know why? Why? Because no business model. Basically I used WordPress, started a website, but I don't know who is going to pay money for whatever I write. So what is the business model of media tech? Any idea? News tech? Advertisements, right? More number of traffic barbeku, you show the advertisements, right? But I didn't know the business model, shut shop in 3 months. So what did I do? I didn't get back, right? Means I didn't lose hope. I wanted to make some kind of an experience. I understood I'm a very early guy. So I went back to corporate. Got a chance to work at Accenture because I had Infosys kind of a background. Worked at Accenture, then again I was like, corporate is not my cup of tea. Let me come back to Mangaluru and start one more startup. I started something called as pillpouch.com. Any idea what is pill pouch? Which industry? Pharmaceutical. Great. So before this, how many of you are aspiring entrepreneurs? Who want to be your entrepreneurs here? Only 10%? Am I in the wrong event? No, right? Awesome. How many of you watch Shark Tank? Awesome. Right event. Okay. So why I'm telling is, I started something called as Pill Pouch. Basically guys, medicine delivery startup. Tell me medicine delivery startup name. Pharmacy. Netmeds. 1mg. Awesome. Tata 1mg. Similar, but what I wanted to do is get the medicines in packets, pouches. For example, our granny and all have multiple tablets, 3 in the morning, 4, right? They miss the tablets and that could be detrimental, right? So what we wanted, morning pouch, afternoon pouch, night pouch, and so that they just have to take the pouch and put. Little did I know, highest regulated market in India is pharma market. Don't enter without having crores of money in this. Very, very, very regulated. Still in India, online medicine delivery is not completely legal. All these medicine startups which you mentioned, right, they have come up their own, frameworks and everything. Because it's not easy, guys. See, Swiggy, Zomato, misplaced order adre, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಬದಲು ದೋಸೆ ತಿಂತೀರಿ. But here, right? Casualty. So it's very hard, it's not easy, and you can't even open one medicine packet and put it in another. So, I mean, the regulation is very, very, very high. So, ran it for 3 months. What happened? Shut shop. What are the mistakes did I do? Number one mistake is lack of market research. Guys, MBA guys, how do you do your market research? How do you do? Google survey? Okay, now ChatGPT, guys. We had, yeah. But 100 jana response kodtare, that is the market research. That is called as primary market research. Really doesn't help. You have, that is called as secondary research. You have to do primary market research. Means, go to the stakeholder and talk. Who are the stakeholders in pill pouch? Customers? Suppliers? Medical shops? Delivery. So I would have asked 10 people, would you order medicine on app? They would say no. And typically my product yarigittu for granny, grandparent, right? Will they use it? This is what market research is, and number one thing. Everybody has idea. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಗೆ idea ಇದೆ? Everyone has idea, guys. Right? Everybody has. Even I have 10 ideas with me now, but the thing is, market research is important. Everybody does Google form. How many Google forms I get? Sir, please fill the form. Why? For academics. Go and talk to your customers, potential stakeholders. Okay, that is first. Second is no co-founders. Guys, without co-founder, it is very, very, very hard. See, if you're running a business like hotel, canteen, you don't need co-founders. But if you're doing a tech startup where you're going to impact lakhs of people, co-founder is a must. Then lack of business model. Business model gottilla. First time business model gottilla. Second time business model means yaar ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. From where I'm going to get money, right? How much percentage goes to medical shop? How much percent goes to delivery guy? Multiple things, right? Lack of funds. I didn't add fund. Whatever I saved in Accenture, I was trying to fund this, right? Then what did I do? I went back again to corporate. I worked again for one more year called a startup called as Traction. Have you heard Traction? It has gone IPO. They cover a lot of startups in the world. There I got startup idea, left Bangalore again, came back. I did something called as Neighbor. So guys, this is back to 2018-19. Nirmala Sitaraman had invested a co-working space called as CEOL, Mallikatte. Have you seen? Please visit it. Okay. Our news nodkondo I put down my papers. Right? I started Neighbor. Neighbor is apartment management app. How many of you stay in apartment? Right? When you go to apartment, you have to write an attendance and all. So everything is, it's not very right way of doing. So I thought of doing mobile app and everything. Right? I did this for 1 year, spent all my savings, built beautiful mobile app, beautiful web app. When I went to the market to sell it, nobody bought it. You know why? Who buys this app? Typically, whom should I sell? Apartment society. Society and Reno, it's a group of people. In Mangalore, societies meet once a year. And if I miss that, sir, next varsha banni. And there were few, I used to give this demo, like 49 people said yes. One person is like, no, this is my privacy, this. No. So don't do a product where multiple decision makers are there. Never ever, especially societies, doesn't work. Right? In Bangalore, my gate, apna antala sumar ide. There it works because every quarterly they meet. In Bangalore, societies don't work. And the market is also small. Right? So this time I had a co-founder, but the thing is, co-founder, I were not in same sync. My co-founder wanted to do services, IT services, web app, mobile app and everything. I was nani product beku. The previous startup, what mistake did I do? No co-founder. Now co-founder, but two different. So co-founders is like marriage, guys. Always remember, if husband wife fight, what happens? Who suffers? That's the startup. So ensure it is minimum 10 to 20 year journey. So one good part what Aditya told, his co-founder is a friend, college mate. So already he knows him maybe a decade. It's easy to take the business. So co-founders are very, very important. Okay. Finally, what happened after everything, things didn't work. CEOL I mentioned, right? Co-working space. That is where I met my co-founders who were from different, they were doing their own startup. They all failed. I failed, they failed. We thought, hey, let's come together, do a startup called as MicroDegree. MicroDegree, what do? We teach tech skills in Kannada. So basically, whatever startup we were doing, we didn't get good talent. Engineering talent, they don't know how to write programming, single line code barlik bartilla. Then what is the point of doing 4 years of engineering? That is also I suffered at Infosys. After 6 months of training, I am not good at Java. Why? It is not taught well. It is taught in English and people mug up. I mugged up 25 programs in my first years, right? Any technical guys, BCA, MCA, engineering? Oh my goodness, all are engineers. Okay, you rely, I mean, we have same feelings, right? Now ChatGPT has made life easy, right? Just a second. Alright, so this is what MicroDegree happened, and right 2020 we started, guys, MicroDegree, right? What is 2020? COVID. So what happened, whatever mistakes we did there, we didn't do here. Directly now product app launch madilla. We started with a training platform, training institute tara, where 50 students came to our offline center, all from Halli Taluka, Kundapura, Sulle, Puttur, Allinda Maklu Bandru, who are from Kannada medium. We taught them full stack development in Kannada. That is when we understood people are able to understand tech. And fortunately, we pitched this idea to Government of Karnataka and we got funding. We got a funding of 20 lakh rupees where we told, hey government, we will do an app where thousands and lakhs of people can learn this tech in Kannada. So what are we doing now? Whatever happens in Silicon Valley, we are trying to teach that in Kannada the next day itself. For example, Gen AI, prompt engineering, right? What not? Cyber security, RPA, anything and everything we're teaching in Kannada. Now, fortunately, after that, we also got funding from venture capital called 100x VC. This was 2021. Since then, we didn't look back. From a team of 3, we scaled to almost team of 35. Our whole idea is how to empower 5 lakh youth like you in tech by 2027. That's what MicroDegree is all about. So right now, over a lakh students are learning at MicroDegree platform. We have our mobile app, we have our web app, we have very interestingly YouTube as well. Right? So this is the journey what we did. Right market research. We just didn't sit and launch a product. Right? We tested by 50 students and tried to understand Kannadalli kalsidre kalitara. And all are in very good package right now. They're all working in tech companies, whomever we taught in last 5 years, right? That was biggest lesson. Second lesson, started with zero investment, guys, right? We made a poster and put it in 10 colleges. I had no hopes. I had a QR code on the posters. One day I'm opening a InstaMojo payment gateway. 50 students have enrolled by paying 2,000 rupees. 1 lakh rupees there. 1 lakh was huge there. I've never made a business. Book your seat for something we had mentioned. That is how it all started. Timely fundraise and online platform. Right? Who is this man? Very good. TMFI. What did he do? What did he do? Manipal. Guys, Syndicate Bank. Have you heard Syndicate Bank? What are these banks? All from Mangaluru, guys. Everything is from Mangalore. This has happened in 1906, 1925. No internet, nothing. And Vijay Bank by? Who founded Vijay Bank? Yes, and A.B. Shetty? A.B. Shetty sounds a bell now, right? So, all these happened 100 years back, right from Mangaluru, Udupi. These are visionary people. No internet, no reels, nothing. Right? So, if you have vision, mission, you can do anything and everything. Guys, these are not just banks. These have empowered lakhs of families. Lakhs of families, and each family 4 to 5 people. Crores of people have been empowered by these banks, and this all happened from Udupi, Mangaluru. So who is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is someone, need not be just wealth creation, guys. It could be wealth creation. It could be supporting Halli Taluka. It could be also to do something big. Impact people, impact lives, right? To just give example, have you heard Bharat BDs? What did they do? Work from home in 1970s, 80s, right? Village people couldn't come to city. So they took work to the village. Women empowerment, right? Who is at the center? Yes, right? He got Padma Award, right? He used to save 150 rupees and built a primary school. Why? Because he's a normal orange fruit seller. One tourist came and spoke to him in English. He couldn't reply back. So he thought, I had very bad education. It shouldn't happen to my people. So he built school using his 150 rupees fund. He gave back, right? So that is Mr. Harish Hande, Selco. Please check out what Selco does. It's a solar electric company, sustainability for villages. Go and have a look at it, right? Another is Lijjat Papat. So I think, already Aditya has mentioned how to be a better entrepreneur. You have to go to events, talk to industry experts. You need to have hunger. That is what he mentioned. Without hunger, nothing is going to happen, right? Read. Lot of research, market research. Biggest mistake, as I mentioned, please write it down or take a picture. Zero market research. Never do that. Lack of co-founders. Never do that. Lack of vision, mission. You have to have a vision, mission, and startup is a minimum 10-year game. Minimum 10-year game. It's not 1 year, 2 year, I'll become big. Right? So, lack of business model. So, there is one saying, right? Do you know what is 8th wonder of the world? 8th wonder of the world? I'll tell you, 8th wonder of the world is power of compounding. What is 1 raised to 365? 1. 1.01 raised to 365? 38. You understood, right? You are just improving 0.1 for next 365 days. You will be at 38 with respect to 1. Andre 37 times you are better if you just get better 0.1% every day consistently. Understood? That is power of compounding, and that is 8th wonder of the world. So do believe in this. And this particular slide, this is my last slide, what already sir mentioned. Guys, next 15 years is India's year. You don't have to aspire for UK, US and live the American dream anymore. It's all India. We had less than 100 startups, 300 startups in 2014. Now we have 1 lakh plus startup. Right? As I'm talking, huge number of UPI transactions are happening, and the best part is 76 crore internet users are there in India, guys. You know how it helps? See, company like ours, 80 or 90% of business happens on internet. How? UPI. If there wasn't UPI, how will my business be empowered? Any idea? Cards. That couldn't have happened. Right? So on those lines, what I wanted to say is, as also sir mentioned, every second person in India is less than the age of 30. 50% of population is less than the age of 30. Have you seen the malls when you go? We see a lot of students, and what do? Students ki kelsa illa marili bartar. It's not that. The population is like that. India is a very young population. Correct? Have you heard Zudio? What did Tata do? Launch product for youth, 18 to 22, 25. I mean, that's a huge market. So internet is growing. That is where businesses are. This is the right time. One last example I wanted to give. How many are from Aloysius here? Okay. Do you know samosa ajja? Right? Samosa cost ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು? 5 rupees. Every day 500 samosa he sells. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ? 2500 rupees. He works for 20 days. Saturday, Sunday ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು? 50,000 rupees. It is a 6 lakh package. Correct? So complete sigudilla, margin would be 60%. 60% of 50,000. 30,000 his profit, right? No business is small. Businessmen are small or businesswomen are small. Thinking is small. Orange costs 7 rupees. Orange fruit. Adana mixi haki juice madidre. How much? 60. I can sell it for 600. Where? Airport. Right? Put it in perfume and make it very luxury. 6,000 rupees. Shah Rukh Khan uses it. Right? Sell it at 6 lakh rupees. Nikhil Kamath will buy. I mean, you got an idea? I mean, you have to understand that, right? So, no businesses are small. Businessmen or women thinking is small, right? On those lines, thank you so much for having me.
Thank first Mr. Gaurav Kamath. Usually we don't see, or even I have gone through a lot of books and heard a lot of people talking, but nobody talks about how we started and how we failed. Everybody wants to have a batch and say, hey, I am very successful. And only success stories, or you get even books, only talk about that. So here we had Mr. Gaurav Kamath, who started first sharing and talking about how he really built himself up. As we say, failures are stepping stones to success. I think I heard it only like a phrase. So here's a person who has actually lived it, that phrase. It's not that he's just saying because he's saying. He actually went through that as an experience, right? So we are very thankful and feel proud to be part of listening and being heard you, right? Now we take the session forward and we have Supreetha Bhat, founder of EchoPeak Solutions. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much to all guys and girls who are there for attending this event. Trust me, it's very, very, thought-provoking, I can say, because I was an employee as well until very recently, and this is my first time entrepreneurship. So I am glad to be here and hear from two experts in the industry, and yes, the lessons what they have learned are an inspiration for me as well. So starting with that, this is a story about my journey. The company is almost 2 years old now. EchoPeak Solutions is based out at Manipal. Yeah, so like I said, my journey. So I am a BCA graduate in computer applications, and I started working right from my first job. I was into BPO industry, handling customers, getting scoldings from them, convincing them, please, it's not like this, apologizing, sympathizing, empathizing is what I've been doing all my career. So with over 10 years of experience handling different roles, starting from customer service executive, technical support assistant, team leader, team coach, quality analyst. Yeah, so that has been my journey. So like I said, my first job itself was technical support in Emphasis, and that was directly talking to US people. So I was like, oh my God, I'm just a degree graduate. What do I do? I mean, how do I talk to people, right? That to US. So yeah, that was the first learning for me in my career. And like I said, the 10 years of my career taught me a lot on how to handle people. So when I lost my previous job, so I was like stuck in the middle, it is literally like stuck in the middle of the ocean. What next? Family, kids, husband, everything is there. But what next in terms of my career, right? So yeah, like I said, the main inspiration is when we are settled in a small industry, non-metro city, something, a city like Udupi or Manipal, lack of job opportunities. So if you see, there are companies, there are small companies, there is KMC, there is Manipal University. However, lack of job opportunities for local people is very much seen. So when I mentioned, when I lost my previous job, I was stuck and I was very, very unsure on should I continue my career or should I just sit back home, be a full-time mom, take care of my kids, or what? What should I do, right? So that is where I realized that why not start something of my own, so that obviously it uplifts my career and it gives an opportunity for so many young minds who are looking for a job or who are struggling to find jobs just like me. So why not? So when I thought about this, first thing clicked my mind, instead of rather going for some other sectors or probably opening a business, why not start something which I've already learned from so many years, right? So that is where I thought of an idea of starting a BPO. I'm sure most of you know what's a BPO. Yes, business process outsourcing, wherein most of the companies, if in case they are not able to handle their customer service, sales, appointment setting, lead generation, if you guys are aware of lead generation, so that is where they outsource to different companies. So companies like us pick up the tasks and we will be the brand ambassador of that particular client company. So that is what we do. Now, so I got the idea, yes, ideas will be there everywhere. Now, how do I start, right? So that is where I, saw a little problem in the industry. There are lots of big players. You might have heard a lot of big BPOs, right? Infosys itself has a BPO. There are so many BPOs in Bangalore and everywhere. What they normally do in general, BPOs, is they take up these processes or the requirements like 30 seats, 40 seats, 50 seats, 50 seats meaning the 50 people who are working for them, right? So they are all these big people. So if you see Zomato customer care, right? There may be a bunch of people working, sitting in a call center and handling Zomato queries, right? That is what it happens in general. Now this is for big peoples. Big people, big companies can handle big, outsourcing agencies. What about small? Right? Now imagine a 20 or 30 employed company is there. They want to outsource. They cannot outsource to big companies, right? Why? Obviously there will be a lot of, the funding, the pricing cost will be a matter. And like I said, they will ask for minimum 20 agents requirement, and that limitation will be there. So why not we target small companies and take up small requirements? Rather than going for bigger requirements, why not we take up smaller requirements was my idea. Now, like I said, Udupi is a place where there are bunch of talents but lack of opportunities. So what normally people do is they step out, go to Bangalore, go to Mumbai, or go to maybe probably even Mangalore in search of jobs. But there are very, very less people who want to stick into Udupi, but they're not getting opportunities. That is where I felt that this is the supporting ecosystem what we have, right? And in tier 2 cities, the cost, the operational cost or the living cost, everything is much lesser when compared to metro cities. Right? So when we have this supportive ecosystem, why not start something of my own, was my thought initially. Yes, so everything set. The company name was also set. We started off by, I started off by partnering with someone who was a known person to me. So we started off, we had an idea, yes. Then we started looking for clients. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys know, there are lots of companies called as campaign providers, if you have heard, who give jobs to BPOs. They say that, I'll give you a yes bank process or a Zomato process. You just have to pay and we will give you the process. That is how in general it works. But we will have to pay them. Now comes the important thing, money. From where do we get this money? Right? So that is where we were stuck. We were not sure. Okay, so we have the idea, we are planning to start the company, but we are stuck, right? So that is when the issue started. So this is my first learning, okay? The two speakers have already mentioned, they have failed in multiple, entrepreneurship, and they kicked off and they grew big. But this is my first company, so I can say, honestly, each step I place is a learning for me. So again, this is my first talk experience as well in front of so many people. So that's the experience as well. Thank you so much. So like I said, the cash flow, when the cash initiation started, we were stuck in middle for n number of reasons. The partner who I had partnered with could not proceed further and he backed off. So whatever investment is already done, setting up a workspace, the furniture, people, everything done. But we were stuck. We literally had one process in hand. We had around 6-7 people, okay? I had to pay them salary, obviously. The partner has walked off, but I have to pay the salary, right? So that is where I literally had a thought, should I back off or should I proceed further? Like I said, every step is a learning. So I thought, why not take a step? Thanks to my husband who is still a supporter, very good supporter of mine. And he said, no, you move. Let's see. Don't worry about the cash, right? So that is where I took the next step of taking over the company solely as a proprietor rather than a partnership firm. And after that, again, as you can already see, balance between the inflow and the outflow is very, very, very important. If you're getting 10 rupees, please don't spend 20 rupees. Initially, yes, it happens. You may think, no, ee varala, parvagilla, next month inda nodwa. But you need to be very, very wise in terms of expenses as well. That's my first learning, I would say, in terms of a startup journey. Next would be investing on good people. As both of them have already mentioned, team or your surrounding, the people who are trusting you are very, very, very important. The better people you have, the stronger your company is or your team is, right? So looking for like-minded individuals was a tedious task, I can say, because we did have people who come for about a week. They think that, okay, this is a startup, not sure if it will work, and they back off. So it's a human tendency, when you're seeing something new happening around you, when you see the chaos, what is going on, right? So people tend to lose trust, which is, again, it's common, but building a right team was a big hassle initially. So what we started with, building up a culture. When I say culture, as Gaurav has already told, building a mission and vision for the company, right? So when you have your thought process right, and when you are putting it to the team or your listeners properly, they will obviously trust you, right? So that was building the culture. So we are a company wherein we don't micromanage, or we don't see what they are doing or what they are not doing. So building a very healthy team culture was very, very important. Then the scalability. Scalability is something not just in terms of company revenue scalability, but what will the person get if she or he stays with us in EchoPeak Solutions, right? So there we started having a growth plan, right? So we started taking onboarding sessions to all the employees, stating that, see, you are here from the day one, you will go to, after completion of 6 months or maybe after 1 year, you will be here. Depending on your performance, of course. It's not just, a vague decision, but depending on the performance. So when we started showing them the scalability on how they are, and when we really did it, the rest of the people got a trust on us, saying that, okay, so this person has got a growth. Now that she is 6 months old in the company, this person got another growth. So all that started coming into picture, and people started trusting us. Then training, of course, that is very, very important in any company or any industry as well. So as I come from the same background, I started picking up the training task myself. Apart from that, we also hired outsiders, these training managers who do it on freelance. So we did take freelance sessions a couple of times, so that it helps the newbies and also the existing employees on how they can improve or upskill themselves. That has helped us immensely as well. Evolving leadership, yes, this is biggest learning for me, I can say. Like I already mentioned, I was a full-time employee in the past as well. I had lost the job, and previously, we had a very toxic environment in the work environment. So what I first thought is, I should not become like a person what I have seen. So I should not be a person who my manager was, right? So keeping that in mind, how I would have been felt if my manager would be, right? The same thing I'm being to my employees or our employees. So thereby the relationship is built, and they trust you, like I said. So we have this more of employee, team leader or co-worker, relationship, rather than this boss and subordinates relationship. So that is where I learned that, yes, as we grow, as we add on more and more team members, maintaining the leadership and adapting with them is very, very important. Rewards and recognition. We do this monthly program without fail every month, wherein we recognize that month's top performer. So November month was very crucial for us, wherein all of us felt sick. There was a lot of viral flu running around. So obviously everyone's performance had come down due to their sickness, leaves, blah blah reasons. They were not able to meet their targets, or a number of reasons. So what we thought, why to leave this rewards program this month? Why to skip the rewards program? So we thought of coming up with a plan wherein only one employee in the company had 100% attendance. So we gave that 100% attendance achievement award. So that was kind of funny for all the employees, because never ever we had done that apart from meeting their targets or meeting their deadlines. But why is it important? Even the smallest of smallest recognitions, it may be just a matter of a certificate or a small memento or something. But when you are being rewarded or when you're being recognized, they feel that, okay, so I'm still there in the company. They feel that emotion. So that is why I felt it is important. Oops, something happened. Okay. Yeah, so customer as a partner. You might have already heard in the past, there's a saying, customer is king, right? So instead of treating them, customers, as a king, why not we treat them as partners so that we grow together, right? Instead of treating them as upper hand and you being lower hand, you never know, customer can topple down, right? They may change their sides, right? So we have had this bad experience wherein one company took advantage of us being small company. They literally took our services, and at the end they refused to pay, saying that you are a small company, why should I pay you? That is where we realized, okay, so far we were literally bowing down to them saying that you're a client, you're a client, you're a client. And we didn't have, paperwork, or we didn't have that contracts, in place, just because we thought, okay, we will have this over the call discussions and we will have this done. But that is where I felt that, okay, so customers should not be treated just like a king. Obviously, they deserve the respect, I'm not denying that. But we need to have a proper partnership framework between the customers as well. Right? So, once I say that they are a partner, why being in a good relationship with them is important. So once we have this bonding with them, they will be our promoters. So trust me when I say this, our existing customers have literally done our side of marketing to their contacts, and I have got other contacts from them. So wherein when we say that, so I'm say for example I'm working for this ABC company, they tell about to us to their friends, to their colleagues, or probably their co-workers or so, and they contact us saying that I was told about you by this company, so would you like to help us as well? So our customers are our best promoters. And resilience in tough times. So when you are transparent with them, they know what you're doing. They will be very supportive in your tough times as well. Say for example, we had an instance where one of our female employee, she joined us, and the first day she took the training, everything done. End of the day, everything was okay. Next day she came back and saying, my family is not supportive in me working. Probably my husband is also not happy in me working. So as probably they were planning to have a family or so, and she literally said, I will not be able to come tomorrow. I was stuck in the middle because the client, we had onboarded the client. Now what do I say to the client, right? That is where the client was supportive as well. Supreetha, you have told us this, the story, what has happened at your office. So we are okay, no problem. You take 2 or 3 days, whatever time you want. You look for an individual and then have the replacement done, right? So when you are transparent, what is happening at your end, the customer will obviously understand you as well, right? Create a feedback loop. This is again hearing the side or hearing their story is very important. You are delivering your task, but are they happy, right? So recurrent feedback sessions or review sessions from the customers has played a very important role, and and has given us a good learning as well. So co-create solutions. This again, discussing with the customer. So say customer is looking for something and is not sure whether it will work, right? So handhold them or partner with them and create something which you can do it from your end. So thereby customer will be happy to see that working for them as well, and it's a learning for you as well. Embrace technology and automation. So now that each day, each software is getting upgraded. So every week I see a lot of your phone apps saying that there is an update, right? So the market is evolving a lot. So stay updated, know what automation can bring to your industry or your tasks. Wherever you can bring small automation of the tasks, do it. That will in turn help you to save time and money as well. And investment in right tools in terms of the automation or the tools available in the market. Do a little market research. I'm sure most of you are planning for a lot of new things as well. So just do a market research as they have already mentioned, right? And invest on the tools which feels you the best, right? And digitization, obviously you know it, and that thereby you can grow depending on the current market trends. Marketing and branding. This is a very important learning I have learned. So initially I was a very rare user of LinkedIn and the branding or marketing tools available. But once I started EchoPeak and when I realized that LinkedIn is the place where you need to market yourself. If you have to build a brand, LinkedIn is the best form, best platform. So always speak about yourself, no problem. People will think, how much is she talking about herself? That's okay. You need to be your promoter, right? If you are your own promoter only, that works. Correct? So I believe in that. So talk as much as possible about you, about your company. Be shameless, that's fine. Right? So that's, that's very, very important, as I already mentioned. And Gaurav had already mentioned, having a website, proper logo, everything shows that you are genuine and you are having a proper presence in the industry. Invest in digital marketing, yes, like I already mentioned, probably create some ads. There are lots of tools available, so just go ahead. If you're planning to have a product startup, put up the flyers or put up the brochures, put up your product videos in Insta, Facebook, everywhere possible. No problem. Even your WhatsApp status should say the same. No problem at all. Be shameless in that terms. This has given me a tough learning, I can say. Like I already mentioned previously, I never knew what this GST is, tax is, TDS is, nothing. All I got is my fixed salary. In that some PF deduction will happen, ESI deduction will happen, that's it. That's all I knew. But when we grew a little day by day and employee by employee, I got to know that all this labor laws, employee benefits, compliances, tax, you need to be now GST certified. I'm like, okay, so what should I do for GST certification? I had no idea, right? So these are very important. So I would suggest maybe before you even start, see if your company or if your idea falls in these regulations. There are lots of government regulations, but knowing them before you start is important, because I learned after I paid the fine. So please do a little research, to know it better. Yeah, so I'm done, with my learnings, because as I already mentioned, I'm still learning, so I don't have big talks or big experiences like the two key speakers here. So these are the major learnings and takeaways which I learned from my own mistakes. So I would suggest please do the research and do everything what these have already mentioned. So about EchoPeak, we are going to complete 2 years in March, and we started off with 6 employees. Now we are 25 employees, mostly who are women who are coming from career break. So thank you. So we have a couple of employees who are coming after a career breaks of 8 years, 9 years, who are moms who had lost hope in going back to work again, but they are working very nicely now. So there, and acquisition of international client, that too organically had become a very big, huge milestone for us. So we backed a good process from US, and that has given I can say a turn or a good growth to the company. And currently we are serving 20 plus happy clients. They're all small requirements, but the clients are all, they are also scaling up. So we are growing along with the clients. And yes, currently we are scaling in that good number that we are doubling the digits year on year. So hopefully for the best. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.
Supreetha ma'am, we had some seasoned 2 speakers before who had a lot of experiences with them. When Mr. Gaurav asked, I saw that a lot of hands were raised this side and few hands this side on who want to start something of their own rather than taking a regular job. I think madam's experience is what will be more thing to watch for if you're looking at something like that after you finish your course. So once again, on behalf of all the audience, the organizers, I thank you ma'am for sharing your experience with us. we quickly move into the Q&A, where I think after listening to them, though they have covered quite comprehensively the topic itself, but still there's always a scope to know more, right? With this intention in mind, we want to have some quick and very short and don't ask multiple questions together at a go. So let everybody get an opportunity. Some quick questions from the students to our panelists, right? So the session is open for that.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Sanath, currently pursuing my BBA. So my question is to Gaurav, sir. Sir, you are founder of educational platform. So there is a stereotyping among the youth that the dropouts are making better business and they are becoming better entrepreneurs. So there is no need of educational qualifications and such. What's your thought on this, sir?
Very good question. I read something on LinkedIn today. There was a podcast by Nikhil Kamath and Modi. So one person told Nikhil Kamath is a dropout. The other person told Modi is a tea seller. Tea seller becoming PM and he becoming a billionaire. The probability is 1 in 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh. Look at the probability. So if you want to live in probability, probably you can try. Like one person can try, but end of the day, what I wanted to say is, it's not about degree much. So how it helps is, if you are IIT, IIM or a top tier guy, that means you have put a lot of hard efforts, hard work to reach there. That is when investors will come and give money, because he has past hard working history. So there is always thing, right? Why only IIT, IIM guys get money? Because investors get money from somewhere else. They can't invest somewhere else. Like somebody who is putting effort, avri kodtar. So end of the day, what I would say is, it's all skills, it's all efforts, and what Aditya, Supreetha had mentioned, that is the most important thing, right? Persistence, focus, hard work is what you have to do. But don't just think that somebody else is doing, why should I? Like, I think even in the US, it's very common, right? They leave education in between, drop out and do something, right? But what happens is, the way US education is entirely different, right? They learn technology along with economics, along with management, along with something else, arts, liberal arts and stuff. So end-to-end knowledge, we do not have that, right? So I hope you got an idea.
So my question is, each of you, when I hear your talk, you have gone through like a certain failure in life, or that bad phase that everyone goes through. Many times people give up there. But what made you keep growing? Move forward that phase, because every day being an entrepreneur, there is a problem and a lot of obstacles are there, and you have to face that every time, which a normal human tendency is to avoid it. So how did you face, and what happened many times, something wrong happens to us, especially Aditya, so you'll crib on it, why this happened to me, how can I get over it? So how did you get out of that phase and be so positive and did so much of achievements? So that's my question.
So, very good question. So what you can do is, you can just focus on what is controlled by you. Like rest everything is it puts a burden on yourself. So think at that particular moment what you can handle, and just focus on that. So that is what is required most of the time. You have to keep it simple. Like, it's very easy to say keep it simple, but when it really happens to you, you just have to tell your mind that, okay, this is beyond my control. This is beyond something that has happened. So even if I crib about it, or even if I tell to someone, it's at the end of the day, it is me, it's our company that has to go through this. So focus what is controllable at that point of time, and find what is the best solution. Like, when you have that clear mind, right, you automatically find one of the path. Like, there won't be a straight path. You find multiple paths there. But when your thinking is clear, you're not overthinking. You're not overthinking about the failure. When you're just thinking how you can get out of this situation, you will start seeing your path very clearly, and you can go into it. So the mantra is to keep simple and focus on what is controlled by you, what is controllable by you.
Yes, my question is how to convince people to join us in the starting phase of the business, because no one trusts and we don't have that much capital to give money and all. How can we hire people in the starting phase?
So yeah, it is very hard at the beginning, like convincing a client. So what we have to do is initially we'll have to convince our relative itself, or convince our friend itself. Like we'll have to start at some point, right? So building that with like we have to take everything and with the vision that how we will work for a proper client, how we will, like with that vision, we'll have to start initially within our circle itself, however small it is or however big we can think. And that is the only way I think if you are starting out on your own. So sometimes it happens that you have a prior experience from somewhere and you bring that experience from there and you start out. So at that time, it is a challenge, but you have an idea whom to approach and what you have to pitch in. But when those things are not there, you'll have to start yourself itself and creating demand. So by working in these projects, you should not think it's a waste or that person may not utilize it for whom I have created with so much of hard work. You don't think it that way. You think it as a portfolio for you. And like people will definitely notice whenever you get that opportunity, right? Whenever you see a potential client, you have something to show him that, see, this is the work I have done. So that quality shows up. And then he will definitely be interested. You get a starting point to converse with him. Without that, there will be nothing to show, or like you will just have to tell him that you trust in me, I will deliver something to you. So that is how we will have to start. You generate demand on your own.
Ravan Gatti, I am working as a service now developer in TCS. So as we are talking about scaling up a business, I want to hear from all three of us. Like, do you think having a political connection or a backing up is crucial when we are scaling up a business? Considering, like, we often are the news that these political parties will favoring that businesses, because politicians are the who will like policymakers. Sometimes it will impact the startups or a business. Not only in India, in USA also it will happen. So I want to hear your opinion.
Good question, actually. Many of them will have this thought that if you have some sort of connection only, then only you can build something. So while it is one of the part, but it is not everything. Like you need not have any political connection at all and yet build something. But if you are into serving public, if your service is into serving the Indian government or government organizations, then at that point of time, some certain connections would help just to get an entry. But then it's your talent. Even if you have access, then if you are not serving well, they will kick out. So that's the second story. But for sustained to long term, it's not the political connection or it's not the capital money that matters. It is the work ethic. It is the quality which you deliver that matters the most.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to add there, question on politics, government. So as a small startup, what I would suggest is always be away from government. And when I say government in the sense, directly working with governments, it's not easy. So when I say government is great, but bureaucrats, it's not easy. A lot of paperwork and everything. So B2G, I'm talking, business to government is not that easy. Once the business becomes big, because the payment spendings and all takes a lot of time, because transfers happen, new MDs, IAS people and com. So bureaucracy is the problem, right? Government is not a problem. But always politics, be away from it. That is what I'm saying. So I think there was one more part in your question, regulations, right? Regulations play a lot in industry. For example, fintech. So fintech, what happened? A lot of financial inclusive was happening, and a lot of P2P loan providers, a lot of different fintech companies were coming into picture. RBI made it very strong. It made it very, very, very strong that there are a lot of business models within fintech were getting closed. Policies, because policies are aggressively going, right? So regulations is something. So I mentioned about mine thing, right? Pharma regulations are very, very hard. So if you're thinking to build something in pharma, like without knowing regulations, don't get. Similar to fintech, it is aggressively moving, and lot of companies are, I mean, they're not shut shopping, they're hiring because they can't really cope up with the regulations. So very, very you have to be knowing the regulations. So only there are few industries like pharma, fintech, and what else? I think there are few industries, civil and something, right? So such industry you have to be aware.
Greetings to the panelists. First of all, thank you. That was a wonderful interaction for 1.5 hours. Something maybe a proper MBA we could say, right? So my question is to Adi sir. I already met you, and you know we have something in common. So the question is very basic. When do you think is the right chunk to scale horizontally as well as vertically? And can you suggest some strategies for it?
So, like when we get full, like when we are a tiny team, and when we start getting more demand and more work than what we could handle, that's when we think that we should scale horizontally. But until then, no. Many people, they think that first they should have a bigger team, a sizable team, and then take up projects. That's a wrong. Like it may go wrong. Like the chance of risk is very high in that case. Like build a team and then approach companies. So that works in a later stage when you have already scaled up. But when you are in a growing phase, it depends on the demand you have, and when there is sufficient demand to have 1% extra, go for that. Go to 2% extra, go for that. So that is how you will have to grow initially, unless you have some funding or other thing. So that's
to add there, right? Horizontal, vertical. So basically the funda is you have to be very, very focused. So when we started MicroDegree, we want to do it in 10 languages. What our investor told is, try to be #1 in Kannada first. We are still way ahead even in 5 years. I was trying to talk about 10 languages, right? So you have to be very, very focused and depth. For example, have you heard Bernal? Have you heard Bernal, right? In that category, 60, 70 or 70, 80% of the market share is by just one brand, Bernal. They didn't launch 10 products. So similarly, if you see, when you think about pizza, what do you remember? Domino's. When you think about fried chicken, right? Do you think they don't know how to make idli dosa? They do it, right? But that is dominance. That is dominance, right? Very, very depth. They go very, very deep. So similarly to Zomato, right? Zomato, what happened? They were only into food delivery. Now, as they go very, very deep, market player, market leader, right? What did they do now? They are entering, trying to give raw materials to the hoteliers. Right now, they are giving food to the customers. Right now, they are giving raw materials like meat, vegetables, groceries. Right. So that is also whatever you do, you have to be very, very deep, very focused. Then you enter. Else, what there is a saying called as inch wide, miles deep. You have to be miles deep. The moment you go wide, you will be doing multiple things, everywhere shallow. So that's the point.
Thank you, audience, for the questions, which were really, it added more value to whatever was discussed previously by the panelists. So they have created right appetite for you to know more and learn more about how you can, from startup to scale up. That is the theme of this session. So they have added a lot of value by their experiences to this. Also, Mr. Gaurav has created a lot of appetite with discussing food at the end. So Shrisha sir will be looking, and all the audience are looking forward to the food session also. That will be post one more. I think they have a session between this. So once again, on behalf of everyone here, and especially on my behalf, Nitte Group of Institution, Akanksha Charitable Trust, Shrisha sir and his team, and all the organizers and volunteers, and you participants and delegates in particular, I thank each one of you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. What an insightful session it was. Thank you all for your valuable contribution to the discussion. On behalf of Akanksha Charitable Trust, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all our panelists and our esteemed moderator for their time, knowledge, and thoughtful insights. I would now like to request Mr. Shashikumar Shetty, NSS Coordinator, Nitte DU, to kindly come forward and present the mementos to our panelists and moderator.
Most people don't make money in the stock market simply because they are human. It's not about skill, it's about errors.
Once again, thank you everyone for being a part of today's session. Have a great day ahead.